Well, come on in, come on in. Let's set this day down. You have just walked into the living room, and I'm your girl, Selah. And this season, we're calling it The Dialogue, a conversation series where we lay it all out, the real, the raw, and the grown. And today's conversation, the dialogue within. Welcome to another episode of the Living Room Podcast. Hey, Couch Crew, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's me, your girl, Selah. It has been a minute. What's been up? What have y'all been doing? I know I have missed you guys tremendously. We took the last week off. I know. I got your messages. And first of all, let me just say thank you so much for sending your messages and being concerned. Everything was good. I just had some life transitionings happening. And so I just had to step away for a moment. Now I know y'all be like, what do you be looking at? Didn't I tell y'all I'd be in my living room like for real? So I'll be hearing people walk by. No, actually I have a studio, but the studio is in my home. So we created a space where we made a studio. So I'll be like, who that? Who that noise? But anyway, I'm so excited to be here with you guys this evening. I was thinking about what we were going to talk about tonight as we kind of bring this dialogue series to a close. And we've talked about a little bit of everything. We've had Sister Act, and Don J came on, my sissy, because you guys hear me talking about her so much. And we talked about what it was like to grow up sisters and all of that. And then we had Manhood in Fuller View with T. Fuller talking about manhood. We had Paul P on talking about the friendship tightrope, those male and female friendship dynamics. 40 years a friend with Kay Stubbs. I mean, we've had so many conversations and we still have a few to go. But tonight I was thinking about, out of all the conversations that we had, I was trying to figure out, like, what is the most important conversation? Like, if I look back over it, what would I say has been the most important conversation we had? And if I'm being honest with you, all of them have been wonderful. But the truth of the matter is that the most important conversation that you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. Let me go back and say that again. The most important conversation you will ever have is the conversation that you will have with yourself. It's what you tell yourself, about the world, about others. It is the most important conversation. Yeah, I'm going to pause a lot this evening. And a lot of us, we've had those conversations with ourselves, but they haven't always been kind. They haven't always been good. We spoke doubt. We spoke unbelief. We spoke, I don't like myself. I don't like the way I look. And all of that is fine. But if you're ever going to sit back and say, if I'm ever to have a true, honest conversation, it has to be with myself. You can talk to your cousins, you can talk to your sissy, you can talk to your friend, your guy friend, whatever that looks like. But I'm telling you, you better start having some real conversation with yourself and telling yourself the truth, not necessarily what you see. Because what you see isn't always the truth or isn't always real. You have to get to a place that you can separate what you see from what you know. And this last season, this dialogue season, this last year, if I'm being honest, and I wrote about it on my Facebook page, has challenged me in ways that honestly I've never been challenged in this particular area. I've had a lot of challenges in my life, but I've not been challenged in this area where I had the time to truly sit with myself and ask myself the hard questions. One, do I even like me? Do I like me? Do I truly like me? Do I like who I've become? Do I like who I am becoming? Do I like me? And if my cousins never call, if Paul P never calls, or whatever guy I have in that friendship tightrope, if my sissy never calls again, if I can't pick up the phone and call T Fuller, if I have none of that, Do I like me? Can I sit with me? Can I be comfortable with me and in this skin? Y'all, it was a real question. About trying to see about maybe 10 years ago, I went through some things, and I've been through a lot of things in my life, which is why I always say I'm the phoenix. Like, I compare my life to the phoenix because, and I'm not saying I necessarily like that. I'm just saying it's what I compare my life to because it seems like I have these deaths and then these rebirths, right? The phoenix dies and then it from the ashes it rise. That seemed to have been my life story. And I've learned to accept that because what I learned to do is in that death, in that dying, I'm always saying, okay, what's next? What do I need to do next? Right? What before the rebirth come, what is it that I need to get? And so I've always kind of saw my life and saw myself in that manner, if I'm being really honest with you all. But here recently, life has just taken this turn, and I could not understand what was happening. I could not understand why it was happening. And I started questioning a lot of things. I started questioning what I believed, why I believed it. I started questioning where I was going. I started questioning the relationships that were in my life. And I started questioning myself. I started asking myself, am I really capable? Um, do I have what it takes for this next rebirth? Because, like I said, I'm the phoenix, so I'm always rising from the ashes. Do I have what it takes for this next rebirth? And I begin to be really honest and say out loud, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of these deaths. I know I'm gonna rise. I know everything's gonna be okay. I know that, but good golly, good Miss Molly, I'm tired of the rebirth. I don't want to be the phoenix no more. you know, I don't want that to be my story anymore. But I can tell you this, over the last year, I never spiraled. I never spiraled out. I never thought none of that everything wasn't gonna be okay. I never did that. Because when I said earlier, there's a difference between what you see and what you know. And I knew at the core of my being, I knew that I was created for greatness. Greatness is whatever you interpret that for your life. I knew that. I knew that I was created for greatness. I knew that I was created for something bigger than what I could see, something bigger than what was swirling in my atmosphere at the time. I knew that. So I did not spiral. But what I did do is get really, really quiet and started asking myself the real hard questions, that dialogue within. And I could have chosen to say, I hate this life. I hate what's happening to me. I could have, but I didn't say that. I just sit. I said, self. Y'all remember Mr. Brown? He said, I love Mr. Brown on one of them Tyler Perry movies where he said, I said to myself, self, and myself said, that's what I did. I literally did that. I said, self, we need to talk. And I begin to tell myself, one, we're going to be okay. Two, this too shall pass. And three, girl, I love you. I love everything about you. I love your skin. I love the way you talk. I love the way you have all of these different personalities. And here's the thing. We've been told, oh my gosh, you got multiple personalities. I've told y'all yes, I do. There is LaRue, got a little hood in her. She may throw some hoops on. You never know what you're going to get from LaRue. She's the one that if you come by on a Saturday, she either got the blues playing, she got a scarf on her head. She's doing, what is LaRue doing? Or she may got some Biggie and Tupac's. That's LaRue. Then you got Homegirl Hoodie, which is that chick who like, hey, she just your ride or die. What? He said, what? What? Let's go. Let's go. I ain't asking no questions until the police pull up. And then I'm like, hey girl, what you done got us into? Then there's this other part of me that I call Clarity J, right? And Clarity J is that chick who is boss. And I don't even like using that word. She's in boardrooms. She's in corporate rooms. She's sitting at tables that most people don't get to sit at. And all of them are parts of me. And I begin to love every part of me. And so one of the first things I said to myself was, I love you. I don't need anyone to tell me that. It would be nice. I mean, who doesn't want to hear I love you? But I have told myself that, and I know that to be true for myself. That dialogue that I've had within, that dialogue that I've had with myself, the conversation that I've had with myself where I said, no matter what's going on outside of this, we're going to be all right. And so tonight I wanted to, for this brief, you know how we do, I throw these solo episodes in with the series, is just say, what conversation are you having with yourself? What does that conversation look like? Is it self-doubt? Is it positive? Is it downplaying who you are? And part of it is not even about, if I'm being honest, it's not even about just, saying good things to yourself, although that is important. Sometimes it's just sitting with yourself and telling yourself the absolute truth. Like I said, I hinted at about 10 years ago, I went through what they called a mirror experience. And a mirror experience is where you literally strip. And I'm being honest, you take your clothes off and you stand in a mirror and you tell yourself the truth about yourself. If you don't like the way you look, you say, I don't like the way I look. If you don't like your smile or the wrinkles or your teeth, whatever it is, you just tell yourself, I don't like this. I don't like the way I've been treated. I don't like the way I've treated others. I don't like that I do this or whatever. And I know some are going to DM me and say, but that's negative self-talk. No, that's not. That's true. Because then as you're standing there, for me, and I can only share my experience, the tears start flowing. And you start saying to yourself, we're going to be okay. I may not like this about me, but that doesn't mean that I'm not worthy of good things. I'm not worthy of love. And some things, truthfully, y'all, that if we don't like about ourselves, then we have to take the initiative to fix. So for instance, if I was at a point where I didn't like my weight at the time, and I'm crying because I don't like my weight. Well, that's something that I can take control over. That's something that I can fix. And so it allows you to really look at yourself and say, okay, is this a thing outside of you, or is this just you not doing what you need to do? Right? Like, I don't like my weight. Okay, well then you're gonna have to push back the plate. Or go get on a GLP. Like, it's just like, y'all know I'm not going to judge it over here. You on a GLP, stay on it. Sorry, y'all. I'm kicking the mics and everything tonight. But you don't like the wrinkles. Okay. That's just maybe time, right? It just may be aging and getting older. But if you don't like them that bad, I got a place for you here. They do some real good Botox. See, that I didn't tell y'all that part, right? Like, part of why I don't have to put makeup on, because look here, I'm gonna go get me some Botox. Well, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not judging any of that. The point is that when you start having these conversations with yourself, if you don't like what you're seeing, and if it's something that you can change, it causes you to move into that. I don't like my teeth. Well, I got dental insurance. I'm gonna go get me some braces. Like, you have to be honest too. So it's not. So some people say, well, you can't give negative self-talk. No, you can't. But you need to be honest with yourself. I don't like the way I treated this individual. I don't like the way I handled that situation. I don't like some of the decisions that I've made, because not everything, y'all know I said this, it's the devil, as we like to say. We have said that so much. It's the enemy, it's the enemy, it's the enemy. Well, the enemy is in me, I see. That's the enemy in me. Sometimes you are the enemy. Sometimes I'm the enemy. It's not this outside force. And if you're not careful with that, you won't take accountability and responsibility for the things that's happening in your life, because you're believing everything that's happening to me, especially bad. Now we don't fault the enemy for the bad, for the good, but everything bad is the enemy. It's a warfare. And sometimes it is. Let me be clear. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's not. It's the enemy in me. I chose to sit at the table and just keep eating when I was full. I chose not to get up and go walk. I chose to not take care of my body. I chose not to, floss and all of, yeah, this the living room. We're talking real talk, to not floss and do what I needed to do to take care of my teeth. I chose those things because some things are on me. Like I said, some things are outside of our control. Some things are just Mother Nature running her course. But some things, most things, I'm going to say, it's really us. And again, if you don't like it, go get you some Botox, okay? Your girl ain't judging you. Matter of fact, if you find a good deal, call me. But that's the conversation that I want us to start having if we haven't. And I want us, one, to be honest with ourselves. To thine own self, we are true. And everything that we do, we can tell everybody else whatever we want to tell them. We can lie, we can exaggerate, whatever you want to do to the outside, but you better tell yourself the truth about yourself. You better tell yourself the truth. If you don't like yourself, if you don't like what's happening, tell yourself the truth. Lay that all out. And then what you can change, you change. Don't beat yourself up. Watch that conversation that you're having with yourself. But you better have one. You better sit with yourself and say, self, and you listen to yourself say, and then you start saying, okay, what are we going to do? You know everything's going to be okay. You know you're beautiful and wonderfully made. But see, you can say all of those things, but if you don't believe that to be true, and that's the whole thing, you can say, oh, I'm beautiful and wonderfully made, and that's easy to say, but how do I get to believe? How do I get to the place where I believe that I'm beautiful and wonderfully made? That becomes the question. And those are those moments, that inner dialogue. No one can tell you what's best for you better than you. I have the best cousins in the world. You guys saw them on here. There's not one I cannot pick up the phone right now and call and say, I just need to talk. Matter of fact, around the holidays, it was November. Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. I was really upset about something. And the first thing I did, I went to my cousin Key house and I just said, I need to talk to you. Like, I'm hysterical. And we go in, she stops what she's doing, and family's there. And we go in her room and I just cry. And she said, it's going to be okay. So I have those cousins. You saw them, Noelle. We don't talk often, but I can text her or call her and she's going to be there. Amika, you saw her. I can call. All of them are there. My 40 years of friend. But the best advice I can ever get is the advice that I give to myself. That's the best advice you can ever get. Who knows you better than you know you? Because see, here's the thing. Cousins, family, siblings, they only know what you've told them, which in most cases is limited truth. Look at your girl and had to put her hand up here tonight. It's limited truth. That's just human nature. We don't tell the full story in anything. It doesn't mean that we're hiding anything. But with myself, I can sit and I can tell myself the truth, whatever that is. And so tonight, what I want to say as we get ready to close out this dialogue series, and we have one more episode. Dr. Phil is coming on Thursday. And y'all, for the first time, y'all gonna hear Selah not have much to say at all, because Dr. Phil, you don't let someone come on with that much wisdom and you overtalk. You let her have the platform. And so she's coming on, and I cannot wait to hear the wisdom she's going to drop about life, about just about it all. And then the season finale, the reunion. Y'all know I've been watching too much Bravo, right? I really have. I've been watching Bravo, and so I said, I want a Bravo style. So I'm bringing all the guests back from season 2 together. And we're going to talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and all of that good stuff. So, hey, I'm glad you checked in with me tonight. I'm glad you're here. And before you have any other dialogues with anyone else, Make sure you have a dialogue with them. Check yourself. Ask yourself, we good? We good. All right, y'all. So until Thursday night, thank you for coming into the living room, hanging out with me, your girl Selah. And y'all be good, all right? I'll see you on Thursday night. Peace and love.